now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning in to the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing whacker or a convicted fella. No, I am your host. Write down our telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. Happened again last night. I felt my tank was $100. Now, where are the morons? We're going to call here going, what kind of car do you drive? $100? What kind of car do you drive? It's a Lexus LS 430 from 2005. It has a 21-gallon capacity. And I probably had about a gallon left in the tank when I pulled over somewhere along Ventura Boulevard, and I filled up. Do the math with us. The car only takes super unleaded. Approximately $5 times 20 gallons. How much is that, boys? That's $100. Doesn't take a genius to figure that out.
Dean's still having trouble with that.
I know Dean is having trouble with that.
I'm using a calculator.
Dean is checking my math right now. He's got the calculator out in there. It's unbelievable. So, Saturday, by the way, 117 degrees. I want to thank those of you, by the way, who've been flexing your power and cutting back on your use of air conditioning. Appreciate that, because my bedroom up at the ranch this weekend was a cool 72 degrees at all times, despite punishing 117-degree temperatures. So those of you who've been saving on electricity, thank you. It's appreciated. I also wish you'd all cut back on your watering. I've now got 20 acres to maintain, and I need all the water I can get. So everybody, please stop with the unnecessary use of water. Stop washing your car. Stop hosing down your driveway. I got 20 acres to hose down, and what happens if we run out of water? For God's sake. I love hearing those commercials recommending we all cut back on the use of energy and water. As it is, our lives getting cut back in so many ways, right? Well, not mine, but probably yours. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, the price of everything has gone through the roof. I was at the store the other day, and I saw a quart of chocolate milk. Do you know how much it was? I'm not kidding. $7 for a quart of chocolate milk. Chocolate milk is not something we buy every day. It just happened to be that I saw it there, and I looked at the price, and I was like, you're kidding. And I was not at 7-Eleven or AM/PM. I mean, this was just the regular supermarket. $7. This is putting the supermarkets in kind of a tough spot, because they have to explain why a loaf of bread is $4, $5, $6. You know, wheat is expensive. Corn is expensive. Rice is expensive. No, I did not say something else. Wheat with a T.
Oh.
Weed has been expensive for years.
I get a good price.
You get a good price on weed? That's good. It's probably cheaper than flour. If you want to make brownies nowadays, probably a good way to go. But the price of everything has just gone through the roof. And everybody loves to complain about how much things are, how much things cost. I mean, what you realize when you get into a recession like this, when you have price inflation like we have, prices going up, is how much crap we have that you can just do without. Even me, okay? I've cut back on stuff. Not my energy or my water usage. Those are at record highs. But, you know, do I do I really need to spend $5 a month so I can send photographs from my second cell phone that I never use? No. I went through like the president using the line item veto. I went through all the things that I'm paying for on a monthly basis. How many things do you pay for on a monthly basis that you forget you're paying for? You just kind of agree to it, you know? 14 satellite radio subscriptions. The first one is $12.95 a month. Each additional is $6.95. Radios you threw away years ago, you're still paying. Just cut that stuff out. Just cut it out. People are cutting the budget left and right. We talked about that on the program recently, the things people are cutting back on. By the way, weed was the number one answer that day. People are cutting out weed. Don't you wish they sold it at Costco? No. Kirkland brand marijuana? Right next to the avocados. Have you had Kirkland? You know, it's pretty good. It's better than the name brands. No, seriously. I spent a little time at Costco over the weekend. Did a little Costco run. And people frantically running around Costco looking for bargains on everything. There was a big sign at Costco, I swear. Now, we talked about this on the air, but until you've seen it in person, you can't believe it. They have those, like, 50-pound bags of rice. And they had a big sign warning you that you were not going to be able to buy more rice than the same pattern of purchases you've had in the past. You have to see the store manager to buy rice and find out what your limit is. Now, I haven't bought a 50-pound bag of rice in, like, forever. But I thought that was strange. Absolutely strange. But sometimes it just seems like everything's going to pot. I mean, and people say this all the time, but it's never been more true in my life than now. Everything's falling apart. You know, Cedar Rapids, Iowa is underwater. Cedar Rapids, Iowa, hello. Hello. Cedar Rapids, Iowa, hello.
Hello, Larry?
Yeah, but what's that noise in the background?
Larry, I don't even read the papers, but we're underwater out here.
What's the question?
I was wondering if there's anybody out there who might be able to pitch in and help us out. We're all going to rebuild down here in Cedar Rapids.
You got to rebuild. Why you got to rebuild?
Well, Larry, I lived here all my life, and my dad, my granddad, they lived here, so, you know, if you get money, you're supposed to rebuild. That's what we're going to do. We're going to rebuild, Larry.
That's ridiculous. You see those news reports on TV of people out there? People floating on inner tubes down Main Street. It's fantastic. You got that. You get the price of everything going through the roof. I see all kinds of stores and businesses going out of business. Right in Hollywood, for God's sake. Restaurants and individual stores and stuff just disappearing. You know, it's like the end of the world as we know it. All this stuff going on. Pretty outrageous. Gasoline, $5 a gallon. And people constantly complaining about everything.
Dean's in West Hollywood.
Dean is in West Hollywood.
This is weird. Bad time.
I mean, yeah, but the economy in West Hollywood was so bad they let a breeder in. That was the amazing thing. My goodness. You should see the price of some of the things that have gone up in West Hollywood. I tell you what, it's pretty outrageous. But nonetheless, I don't know. I drive around and I look at this stuff and I read the papers, and then you turn on all the cable news channels and it's gloom and doom, and there's all kinds of outrageous stuff going on, and the global warming and the polar ice caps are melting, and it just goes on and on and on and on. You know, for me, I'm like, come on, folks, let's just party down. I was in my pool over the weekend. It was like soup. It was like bathwater. Stop getting so upset. You know? By the way, I think of some of you out there, some of you who, those of you who had to give up your cars and you had to take public transportation. I don't know what Gary thinks I'm thinking. I'm just imagining some of you down there reliving the movie A Clockwork Orange down to the subway or out on the rail lines. Who's riding that public transportation? Who's out there? I think of you people on the green line and the gold line and the red line and the blue line. Wow. That's just in Southern California. People riding on people movers around the country and taking buses. Have you had to take a bus? I haven't been on the bus in a while. I think it's time to get on the bus just to see what's going on down there. I think you should do a field trip. You know, in L.A. we have a subway. It's got about 20 stops. I think one weekend we'll check the earthquake forecast, and if it looks pretty reasonable, I think we need to get on the subway. Find out what's going on down there. I really do want to do that. Because I don't have to come to work till, 3:02. So I'm thinking maybe in the morning I'm just going to drive down to Hollywood and Highland, park my car, walk the 700 yards to the subway station, go down there and see what's going on down there, and file a complete report. Dean wants to get high first before we go down there. All right, Dean, you bring the shrooms. Yeah. Art is in because Art's going green this year. It's pretty outrageous. So anyway, it's just it is the way I see the world right now. It looks like it's a constant disaster. There's one disaster after another. Not to mention remember that little old war in Iraq going on? You got that going on. You got a presidential election going on. And I haven't seen people so negative in a very long time. Used to be I was the negative one. Used to be I was the cynic. What has happened to the world now? That I'm Pollyanna. I'm out there, bathing in the pool water. And everybody else is talking about the end of the world as we know it. I don't know. And are you relating to any of this? Are you feeling any of this? Do tell.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. That 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Just a general commentary on the time. Seems like the world is coming to an end. Of course, I'll be partying right up to the end. I'm not worried about it. By the way, remember again, a reminder, flex your power. Turn your thermostat up to 91, 92 degrees so I can have mine at 72. Those who can't afford electricity will. Those who can't, flex their power. That's how it works. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello to Drake on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Drake.
How you doing?
Do you care?
Of course I do, buddy.
I'm doing great.
Well, listen, I just want to tell you, hit that nail dead on the head, man. I don't even want to bring any kids into this world. I'm 22. I'm not going to get married because of listening to your show. Not going to get involved with all this stuff. I mean, you look at the Olympics in Beijing with all the pollution there. It's like, it's just terrible, I can't even, fathom what, if you can't, you can't, and the people that can't handle it, then they're going to have to change, we're going to have to change, and you're going to have to deal with it.
The people that can't handle what exactly? Let's say gas prices go to $10, $15 a gallon or something like that. People have to. You know what? Right. People have been warned about that for years and have paid no attention.
I know, exactly.
They paid no attention. I don't feel sorry for these people. And then all the sob stories about people trying to unload their SUVs, unload their minivans. They can't give them away.
They're changing the Priuses and everything.
They're upside down. No, but you got the people who are upside down on their vans, they owe more on them than they're worth.
They'll get an H3 instead of the H2.
I mean, please. I do not feel sorry for any of these people. Boo-hoo-hoo.
Yeah. I got to say, thanks a lot, Tom. I just wanted to put my 2 cents in. Can you take me out with the bong load?
I certainly can. Matt on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Father Tom, how are you?
Doing okay, son.
Well, hey, thank you for taking my call today. I just wanted to tell you that while all these other people are whining and crying, I am whining and crying all the way to the bank right now. I am in the perfect position.
Why is that?
Because it's really great. I work for the banks. I take all the houses away from people, and I sell them to other people, and I'm making a killing.
There you go. So you're taking houses away from deadbeats.
That's right.
And you're selling them at reduced prices to people with real jobs, provable income.
Actual investors, people with actual jobs who are actually going to make their payments, not like these idiots who took out mortgages they couldn't afford.
So you don't feel sorry for any of those people. By the way, I don't either.
No, I don't feel sorry for these people. I think you put yourself in the position you're in. Take responsibility for your actions.
Yeah, I don't feel sorry for them either.
No way, man. No way. I work too hard. I've been in this industry 5 years. This is going to be my best year ever. The most money I ever made at this before, Tom, was like 45 grand. This year I'm going to go over 115.
Wow, look at that.
I tell you, this is a great time to be me.
And there's plenty of room. There's plenty of room at the freeway underpass next to Ed McMahon. If you want to camp out there, plenty of room.
That's right. Hey, thanks for taking my call. Take me out with a bong rip and a thank you, Jesus, Tom.
Here you go, Matt.
Thank you, Jesus.
It's 1-800-5800-TOM. Should I be feeling sorry for people? Mike on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
I'm glad I'm going right after Max. It's totally appropriate because I really feel that the banks are part of the problem here. I mean, banks are borrowing money from the Fed right now at about 2.5%, and they're just being greedy trying to keep their books afloat. And if they were...
What do you mean they're being... Wait. What do you mean they're being greedy?
They're being greedy. If you look at the 30-year mortgage right now, it's at about 7.5%. It's ridiculous. That margin between that and the 2.5% is the banks trying to keep their books afloat from all these foreclosures.
Well, it's not only that. It's the banks trying to provide some insurance against more deadbeats taking out loans.
Well, I agree with that, but what the banks could do is give money to people with good credit, with good jobs, and lower the interest rates. If they did that, they'd get all the fees from people refinancing, trying to get out of, if we got back down to 5% interest rates, there are all kinds of good people out there with good homes.
Well, you have to understand that mortgage rates are largely based on long-term interest rates, and those are not set by the Federal Reserve. Those are set by the market. And people who are buying long-term bonds, they want higher interest rates to take that risk. And so the banks have to pay that higher interest in order to get people to invest in those bonds.
Yeah, but when the Fed is auctioning off money right now at 2.5% to these banks.
For short-term use, not for mortgages.
Okay, well, either way.
No, it's not either way. That's a very important distinction. The Federal Reserve is involved in short-term lending and short-term interest rates. Long-term interest rates, which is what mortgages are all about, they are set by the market.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that do the banks need to be charging 7.5% right now for interest rates?
Yes, they do, because when you buy a house for $1 million, they have to find a sucker out there willing to invest $1 million in a bond. And in order to get somebody to invest that $1 million, they have to pay a higher interest rate than they had to do before, because look at all the bonds that were written down. Look at all the bonds that were not paid off. Investors now are saying, if you want me to invest, you have to pay me more.
Okay, well, another thing I wanted to bring up, though,
this is all based on people's misunderstanding of how the market works. You're like most people. You don't understand how the market works.
Possibly I don't fully understand. I'm not in that business, but, I mean...
But you have very strong opinions, even though you don't have any knowledge about how the business works.
So do you want to just continue hammering me on that, or can I make another point?
Well, maybe not until I'm done hammering you on the point. I mean, you call in here like a know-it-all. But the reality is the banks are not being greedy. The banks are doing what they have to do. Right?
I'm not disagreeing with you.
All right. Well, you did call in here and tell me that the banks are being greedy. But they're not being greedy. The banks are in the business to make a profit. I might add, if you follow the stock market at all, have you seen what the price of the stocks are of every major bank in America? They've all plunged. Did you know that?
I mean,
do you know at least one major bank that hasn't gone out of business going to eliminate their dividend to their shareholders this year?
well, I know that I don't feel sorry for them because I know they gave money to people who didn't have good jobs and good credit and could just, tell them whatever they
I'm
wanted.
not saying you should feel sorry for them, but they're private businesses that are in business to make money.
But another point I wanted to make is that the psychology, though, right now, what you brought up is everybody feels like crap. The psychology of people is based on their ability to make money and spend money because we're all very attached to money in this world.
Yeah, but an awful lot of people spent much more than they had or had a right to believe they were going to have.
No,
and that's why they're in trouble.
I agree with that, but I also think that if you look at the dot-com boom or even the housing boom, we had a major tsunami in the middle of the housing boom, and people felt bad for people in the tsunami.
There was no surprise there at all to anybody who did a modicum of reading and paying attention. No surprise.
But what I'm saying is that it didn't feel like the world was coming to an end because we had a tsunami, because everything else was going along okay in the economy. Now that we've got a bad economy, we're in a war, everything
else was going well in the economy because we had artificially low interest rates.
Yeah, and that was to stimulate the economy after 9/11.
Right. And on top of that, an adjustable rate mortgage readjusts after 5 years. So when Alan Greenspan of the Federal Reserve lowered interest rates and the long-term rates followed, mortgage rates were at record lows in 2002, 2003. You remember all the commercials on TV and radio for that.
Yes,
and so all these people went out and bought bigger houses that they could afford, and they all got greedy, and they were all going to become flippers, and you have TV shows called Flipping Houses and things like that. But it didn't take even a monkey to understand that if these loans were made in 2002 and 2007, the piper will have to be paid.
I understand that, but economic policy takes about a year to feel the real effect in the economy. And what we're
whose fault is it that people weren't paying attention? I paid attention, and do you know what I did? Instead of buying a house at record high prices, I spent the last 5 years putting money away for a big honking down payment on a house that I bought from somebody who was desperate to get out from under.
Yeah, and I just did the same thing. I completely understand where you're coming from. But what I'm saying is...
The thing is, I should have owned their house 5 years ago.
No, because then
they went out and borrowed more. The people I bought my house from went out and borrowed more than they could afford. And then when the interest rates went up, they got jacked.
Yeah, but right now the negative effect in the economy that we're feeling is we're feeling the raise of the interest rates a year ago when they kept raising. Greenspan kept bumping up the interest rates. Now that they're lowering interest rates in about 4 or 5 months.
Greenspan did not raise the interest rates. That was Ben Bernanke. You clearly are not reading the paper.
Well, Bernanke...
Alan Greenspan retired.
Yeah, but he's cleaning up after Greenspan's economic policy by raising the rates to try to cool the economy. With the economy's cooling, they've got the effect they're looking for. Now they're lowering rates to try. It's like driving on.
Well, if you could spend the minimum amount of time it took to know that, why can't other people do that?
Well, hopefully, listening to your show, people learn a little bit too while they're on.
I benefited from what happened, and the way I benefited was I waited for one of these suckers who overextended themselves to get caught short. Then I took their house away.
But the important thing is that now that they're lowering interest rates in the next few months, because we've had, 6 months of lowering
They're not raising interest. They're not lowering interest rates in the next few months. Word has it they're going to raise interest rates because of inflation.
No,
again, you're not reading the paper.
But they have lowered the interest rates, and we are going to feel the effect of them lowering the interest rates to where they have. Not that they're continuing to raise them. Today they announced they're planning on keeping them steady. But what I'm saying is that they've been lowering them, the economy will start to feel the effects of that, but it can take up to a year for that impact, the real impact.
Yes, but there's positive and negative when you lower interest rates. The positive is that, yes, you can get your Visa card at a lower rate and car loans at a lower rate, blah, blah, blah. The negative impact is every time you lower interest rates, you weaken the dollar. Every time you weaken the dollar, the price of a barrel of oil in dollars goes up.
Okay.
So when you put $5 a gallon in your gas tank, you're paying for low interest rates, buddy.
But I think we're going to start feeling better in terms of money loosening up based on the policy. I know there's impact to it, but, just like anything else, there's impact to it. But I'm saying, we're feeling the negative impact of the rates being, they rose, 0.5%, 1/4%, 0.5%, back and forth, and they went too far. But it's a difficult thing to steer the economy. Like I said, it's like driving on an icy road. You overcorrect and you're out of control.
Yeah, but there's one thing you can control, and that is not overspending.
Yes, I agree with you.
And saving money, which people don't want to do. They drive these big trucks they don't need. They drink $5 cups of coffee. They have $98 cable bills. And then later on, when things go bad, they're like, oh, my God, how will we survive? How about you live a little bit beneath your means, everybody?
Okay, Tom, thanks a lot. It's been really nice talking to you.
I'm sure it has been.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
From Hollywood, I'm Tom Leykis at 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Matt on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom, Father, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Well, I just had to call in because I've heard you talk about this numerous times, and it gets me so angry because I'm always sitting there on the parking lot. We have to call the 405 in my little Prius, and I'm getting these looks from people, like, what the heck are you doing driving that thing? But you know what? Guess how much I spent the most in the past 2 months since I own this thing?
$30?
Less than 40.
Yeah, I know.
Every time.
Somewhere in there, yeah. Because it only holds about 10 gallons or something, right?
Yeah, it fluctuates between 11 and 12 right now, depending on how hot it is. And I just got back from Vegas. So many of those big SUVs were stuck in traffic coming back last night, out of gas with signs, need a ride or gas.
You know what I love? The morons who think that by waiting longer to put gas in the car, it's somehow going to get cheaper.
Oh, my God.
All you idiots out there running out of gas, you're a bunch of boobs.
I got to make fun of a buddy of mine who only puts in like 5 gallons a day. Oh, my God. But I had to ask you, since, you're a Obama supporter, don't you think that he's going to go ahead and help out all these boobs, who are, living beyond their means, like, with the whole foreclosure thing and now with this...
Well, he might want to do that, but he has to do it with the cooperation of Congress. And I honestly don't believe that Congress is going to go along with all of that. Bill and Hillary Clinton, you may recall, wanted nationalized health care way back in the early 90s. They didn't get it.
Awesome.
So, and remember, the president is not a dictator. The president can't do anything without Congress.
This is true. I just, I've been thinking about that. I listen to you every day. I'm stuck out there in that parking lot. And I just want to give a shout-out to my lottery-winning girlfriend, Angela. Take me out Kobe style, Tom.
Here you go, Matt.
This is about us. She's so special to me. It beats in my heart. Yeah, the air I breathe. She's so special to me.
It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Sue on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hi, Tom. How are you today?
I'm good.
I've called before. I think you're the greatest. But now this is more for a woman, for all the women out there. I know you probably hate these kind of women, but I use coupons at the market, right?
Well, I use coupons, too.
Well, yeah, my grocery bill...
What I don't do is write checks and keep everybody waiting all day while I fumble to fill in my check register. And
well, my bill yesterday, I go every 3 weeks, was $525, and I saved $202, okay? What I just wanted everyone to know out there is they stop doing the double coupons at all the major stores. I go to Vans and Albertsons and Ralph's is stopping tomorrow.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so I just wanted to call and let all the women out there know that the 3 hours that you're spending, now it's going to be cut by around $50 because they're not going to do double coupons, and they will only go up to $1 coupon.
Wow. I had no idea.
It's a lot of work, but, you know, you save money wherever you can, and I just wanted to call and tell you that and blow me up.
All right, Sue, here you go. Dana's right. You know, I've stopped attending the Ralph's Club meetings, and they must have been discussing that there. I've been a member of the Ralph's Club now for years, and I used to attend the meetings all the time, and I was up on this stuff. I'm going to have to call and find out when the next Ralph's Club meeting is. Never been to one of those, Art? Are you a member of the Ralph's Club? Yeah, come on. This is not just a fob on your keychain. This is, these are important issues they discuss. I've been remiss by not showing up. You know, I was in France. I've been on vacation and stuff. I've just kind of missed a couple of meetings. I was in Costa Rica. But those Ralph's Club meetings can be pretty substantial. You know, it's like the people can't pass up the auto club meetings. These are valuable meetings. Plus, you meet people there. People are always saying, I don't know where to meet people. Ever gone to an auto club meeting? When the entire automobile club gets together? You take your AAA card in there. Oh, man, I mean, it's the best. Last time I went to a Ralph's Club meeting, we were talking about, you know, the issue of the people trying to take the shopping carts out of the parking lot. And we were talking about what kind of people want to have, you know, like that Activia yogurt, or they prefer the Yoplait. I mean, there were a lot of big debates going on. And then you get all the special perks of being a member of the club. How long does it take you to attend a Ralph's Club meeting? 2-3 hours on a Thursday night? What's the big deal? I'm amazed how many people just join the club and then they never take full advantage by going to the meeting.
Talk about aisle cleanups?
Aisle cleanups, yes. Yes, you know, because they like to tell you, you know, the old adage, you break it, you bought it, does not apply. A lot of people think, you know, when they drop that bottle of grape juice on the floor, they got to pay for that. They don't. Store's good enough to pick that up. You don't have to run and hide in the next aisle hoping nobody sees you. It's perfectly okay. If I didn't go to the meeting, I wouldn't know that. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. This is Chris on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom, how's it going, man?
It's going okay, Chris.
All right. Well, as long as they don't take the 10% off for the multi-pack of wine and champagne, Tom, that's an important part. Of
Isn't it? Well, we were talking about that the meeting back in November, as a matter of fact, right before the holidays.
Oh, there you go. Well, okay. Tom, as a graduate student in finance and a small car driver that gets hella gas mileage, and one who didn't buy into the real estate bubble, all I can say is major big time Schadenfreude, man. Seriously, I've seen all these people for a good 3-4 years saying, "Oh, my neighbor just made $100,000 flipping his house after 2 weeks. He just added a little, new carpet, and there you go, boom. I need to go and get in on that." And my realtor friend and my mortgage broker friend said I can get in. My credit sucks, but it's okay. I'm going to hold on to this house for only 6 months. That kind of thing. And you know what? I can just say, meanwhile they're driving between houses in their, gas guzzling Hummer H2. So all I can say is I couldn't be happier that this is happening right now.
Oh, I completely love it. All those people who've been blocking my view on the freeway and driving like jerks, always like trying to cut in front of me because they got the bigger vehicle and stuff.
Right.
You're all stuck with your cars now, you morons. I'm so thrilled to see. Oh, I couldn't be happier.
Get pennies on the dollar for those things, and, you're going into foreclosure, ruining your credit. Well, you know what? And that guy's saying, with these low interest rates, they need to come in and give out more loans. Well, they're just barely trying to stay out of bankruptcy. We've already had one major shop go down. I mean, they're just trying to keep their heads above water. They're still writing down billions, and also a lot of the adjustable mortgages, most of them still haven't even reset yet. They said I read the most adjustable mortgages from, even up till now, we're going to be resetting in late 2008/2009. So we haven't even started yet seeing more foreclosures and everything like that.
And I'm thrilled to see it. I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean,
I love it.
Everybody
who broke the rules of 101 and married a spouse who spends too much money, everybody who spent more than they could afford, tough luck, folks.
Right.
Tough on you.
Tom, thanks a lot. Can you take me out Kobe style?
I certainly can.
This is about us. She's so special to me. It beats in my heart. The air I breathe. She's so special to me.
1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Scott on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hi there, Tom.
How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing pretty good right now, Tom. I'm driving to come serve someone right now. I'm a process server. I'm kicking people out of their homes right now.
And you're proud of it?
I'm very proud of it.
How do they react when you kick them out?
Oh, I get some bad people who get real upset, but it's all right. I carry a 6-cell mag light with me, so I feel pretty safe. I mean, unless someone's
really
gone. Yeah.
So how do they react? What do they say when they come over? When they hear that you're coming over to kick them out?
Oh, they try to avoid me as much as possible, not answering their doorbell, but I bang on it with a flashlight and leave some pretty good dents.
Really?
Yeah, if they don't come out on that, you always just shut off the power on them when they're in the house. They come right out.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So business is good for you.
Oh, business is great. I'm about to the point. I drive a little small car, but I'm still about the point I got to ask for a raise because I'm not getting paid enough to be driving 300 miles a day.
Jeez.
Yeah. So all these people talking about, I spend $40 a week. I'm at $1,500 a month on a small car.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Scott, I'm proud of you. Glad to hear it. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Mike on the Tom Leykis Show.
Tom, how you doing?
Doing okay.
Good. Just calling about the high-priced vehicles. I think it's hilarious. Like, you get all these guys with, wiener complexes, and they got to get their big SUV trucks, their big Chevy and Fords. I got a roommate that just got a Civic to help himself commute, and he had to go and put a sticker on it letting us know how high his truck was lifted and what he's got on it to continue those insecurities. But just hilarious, the mindset of these people, and it's now all coming back to catch up to them.
I'm thrilled to see it. These are the arrogant a-holes that flip you off on the road, cut you off.
Yeah, when they cut you off, they flip you off. You didn't do anything.
Right.
No, I hear you. I'm screwed, too. I'm driving a Tacoma, but I just don't have enough money to get a new vehicle now, so I'm stuck with it. But if you drive a little bit slower, you go 60 instead of 70, you coast up to the red lights, it's not too bad.
By the way, who in Southern California gets to drive 70? When do you drive, 3 in the morning?
Yeah. Well, if you're not in rush hour, I try to keep off of the freeways.
My average speed in my vehicle, according to the vehicle itself, 14 miles an hour. Not a problem for me.
The Tom Leykis Show. 97.1 Free FM. SoCal's FM talk station.